Is it on?
Yep, it's on.
Oh, cool.
Well, hey you guys. I wanted to do a little vlog, and I have somebody special here with me as well. This is Alira. This is my beautiful, awesome, amazing girlfriend. And yeah, it's been a really long time since I filmed one of these. It's been a whole year, actually. So I uploaded a few videos just barely because I had a bunch of free time, which I'll get into why in just a second. But yeah, pretty much this whole past year has been working that job that I was talking about in the last video. But then now things have ultra changed. So now I'm at a new job. But first, just all the things that have happened in the past year. I'm planning on, when I upload this video, just to like put a bunch of pictures from that job of different cool places over the past year. So I'll just leave that here. And then you guys get to see kind of what that job was like, different cool places or things I got to do or see. But it was super great. I mainly, it was a lot of data collection on different things that people would do in the park, but then I also got to go and do stuff with wildlife. So it was super fun. And my supervisor was super nice, and everybody I met at the park and worked with was super nice, so it was great. Since then, while I was working, I feel like I hadn't done too much outside of work. I started doing jujitsu. That was a new thing. I started doing jujitsu in February, so it's been like about a little over half a year now. I went to the conservation conference again in Oahu, and then I feel like that's kind of it for the most part that I can think of. Things outside of work. It was mainly a lot of work stuff. Of course, other than that, Alira, we started dating in December, so not that long after I had started the job or made that last video. But yeah, that was pretty much what my life was for the past year. Was work probably took up the most time, and then church and girlfriend, and then some jiu-jitsu here and there. So it was really good. Got into a good routine. So that job ended halfway through September. And then I was trying to figure out what I was going to do next. And luckily, totally, God set the times and places. Because one of the people I'd met at jiu-jitsu works for the state doing wildlife stuff. And so then I applied to the same program I was in, how I got that last job again. And one of the interviews I got offered was working for the state doing wildlife stuff. And then when I went to go do the interview, the person that was interviewing me was the person I'd met from jiu-jitsu, as well as a few other people. And so it was pretty crazy. And then they continued talking to me, and they're like, actually, we're hiring another position that is higher up and is being paid more, and you're qualified for that. You should just apply to that, see what happens. And so then I applied to that, and I ended up getting that job, which I was super excited about. And today was actually my first day for that job. And so then I had a little bit of a gap, because that job at the national park ended in halfway through September, and then right now we're halfway through October. So I had a whole month gap, where it was nice because I got to get a bunch of things that have been sitting on my to-do list done. But by the end of the break, last week, I was running. I didn't have any things to do, so it was a little bit boring by the end. But it was actually really nice to have a break, full month. It was like having a summer break without being a student, and so it was super nice. And then now I started my new job. So my new job, I'm an avian disease field tech, and so I'm working as a researcher, researching birds and the different diseases that affect the native birds here in Hawaii. And the main disease that people are worried about is malaria. It's avian malaria. And so then the job is it's mainly trapping and catching mosquitoes, and then trapping and catching birds. And so then the mosquitoes get taken as samples, processed by a lab. The birds we band and take data on and take a blood sample. And so it's just a bunch of research trying to figure out how we can help the birds here. But it's dream job status, because it's working with wildlife. It's working with, here in Hawaii, for the state, there's the Department of Land and Natural Resources, and under them, there's a Division of Forestry and Wildlife. And so then, even when I started at the national park, when I was talking to people about more long-term goals or different stuff, I knew that Division of Forestry and Wildlife, or DOFA for short, was the people that did all the bird stuff. And they did a lot of the cool stuff with wildlife. And so I'd always tell people yeah, I think it'd be cool to work for DOFA. And then now, I'm an official employee of DOFA. So super cool. Today, my first day, we just set up a bunch of traps for mosquitoes. That was something I hadn't had experience with. I do have experience with doing stuff with birds, because of while I was at the national park, I got to go bird banding there every 2 weeks. And so some of the pictures I'll be putting in, I'm sure, will be from that. But other than that, I don't think there's anything else really big. I kind of just want to keep this short. The doggos are doing good. Brighton is almost, he'll be graduating this year in the spring. Parentals seem to be doing good for the most part. Speaking of parental, he went in and out. So life is doing it. I guess I did change cars twice since the last video. That's not a big deal though, Who cares? Cars are cars. But I think that's all for now. If I remember anything else, I can always turn this thing back on later and stitch it in at the end of this. So if you see me in a second, not goodbye, but if you don't see me in a second, then goodbye for now. So hope you guys are all doing good, and I'll catch you on the flip-flop.